I want to thank you, people that have commented in my on my YouTube video for the review of Trend Mystery. I know already. I warned you guys that there's going to be a lot of fake reviews coming up with just people uploading the sales videos from the page. It's kind of funny. Anyways, some people have asked me about the stops and targets. So let's just cover that quickly on Trend Mystery. Let's go to the indicators. And as you know, I had the ATR if you watch my review video, and I'll tell you why. Let's just bring this up here. When you look at, there we go, the settings. This is the medium setting. I always leave stuff on here. I don't change anything here generally. You can see that we're looking at a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Now I know you see 300. That's not 300 pips. Think of 30. Okay, ignore the last number here on all of them. And I use ATR, my own, when I trade, period. And I would do the same thing with here because these are not dependent on the currency pair you're trading. So, for example, I'm about to show you the pound yen, which is one of the suggested currency pairs to trade with Trend Mystery. And if I was to use the 15-minute chart, I'd be looking at a 15 pip stop loss and a 30 pip take profit. Well, I can't compare trading the euro US dollar with the pound yen. They both move totally different, right? So you want to make sure that you got to keep things realistic here. Trading euro US dollar, trading the pound yen, two totally different pairs that move. The range on these pairs are vastly different. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at, let me just cancel this out here. This is the pound yen 15-minute chart. And if we come over here, if you go back to the review video, it talks about trading with the global trend. You can see that we're on a down. If I just move over here, you see that we're going down here. Obviously, we got short here using the trading strategy, right? Well, you could go back to my video. We talk about these, and these are the confirmation levels. All right, so generally you don't want to take a trade when it first prints out here. This is a great alert system, certainly would be, where you would be looking at this going, okay, I have a trade coming up, but I'm going to wait until I get confirmation of these. And the only time you probably want to take a trade is when we get confirmation in these levels here, okay, like you see here and you see here. But you can consider this like an alert for yourself. So when this happens, stand by, right? So we have to look at what are we trading. Now this is a crazy spike, and obviously we're not going to concern ourselves too much with that. We're going to concern ourselves mostly where the action is in terms of this range, because we want to trade in the global trend direction. Different ways you can do that. You can use a moving average, and maybe I'll do that later. But for right now, we're just going to look at higher highs, higher lows, lower high, lower lows. Typical trend definition. So we have a range. We need to break out of the range. Momentum down. Even momentum candles can be an indication to you of which way you want to trade. So if we want to get short this market, we come into here. Right now we are in the confirmation level. This is where we are interested, right? And when you get the confirmations, this is the trade that's going on right now, actually. You get over here, you'll see where it says confirmation 1. Yep. Confirmation 2. Yes. So you take that trade if it fits your trade plan, of course. So this is calling for a trade up into here, and then it moves down here, and then we have this candle here. Now we're still kind of in the range here. Here's a little pullback in price. So if you just mark off pretty much where a lot of the price action is inside this range, we can consider we're breaking below. So we're going to put a low in. Again, watch these spikes. This could be anything. News event, doesn't really matter. Obviously, it's a news event. Look what happens here. Big impulse move. Anyways, let's just stay with what we're looking at here. I get sidetracked in virtually all my videos. And you can see that's a nice move down, and you can get out here, right? Or you can get out here. And if we were just using the standard 1530 stop loss profit target, you'd be out long before this. And, you have to work out your own re-entry strategy. But this trade would have got you, if we get in here, let's get in the bottom of this break. So we're not going to get in on this candle. We're going to get in around this area right here. Why? Because we're looking for some indication that we're going to head back down. We have this ranging price here. Anyone that trades chart patterns can see which pattern this is. You can see it. That triangle formation there. So let's just go right about here. we'll just drop down here or here. You know what? Let's just go here. It doesn't matter where we go. A break. This trade would have gone roughly 52, 51 pips, depending on where you get out. And this is the trade that we have going on right now. And this is it was a buy signal, yes and yes. Ignore this time. It's actually 11:01 my time. This is not set to my standard, my Eastern time. Okay, it's MetaTrader. So you wouldn't take the trade here. You'd want to wait for confirmation, which happens right there. Now look at the price pattern. We have a swing high, swing low, lower swing high, higher swing low. Once you start seeing this kind of stuff happen, the downtrend in this example could be in jeopardy. Start looking for your long trades. All right, and we would get that. You can get in anywhere through here. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go here. All right, so trade's still on. This trade is up 90 pips, and you can see that it just keeps on going up. And we'll see what happens later on. And again, you might use a profit target using your ATR. You might just stick with what the software tells you to do. But remember what I said earlier, you have to be very careful what currency pair you're trading. So I know a lot of you like to day trade, and let's take a look at the Euro US dollar for today, since people trade the Euro US dollar. And remember, we're looking at a 7-hour difference on our price charts here. So this red line is actually, it says 4 o'clock. This is actually the 9 o'clock start time, Eastern time. Okay, so let's just see what we're looking at here. We have a short trade, and if you see that we're still kind of putting in lower highs and lower lows, so this trade is valid. What's the problem here? One thing that they talk about in the PDF is to ensure we're looking at confirmation. There's no confirmation on this trade, right? You want to see it dipping down into the different zone, and it's highlighted in the manual, which I covered in one of my previous videos, but you want it to come down in this area right here, okay? So we have our low here. Then we get momentum off the lows. Now, when you see momentum off the lows, this is outside the scope of trend mystery, but when you see momentum like this, okay, for example, we're in a downtrend here. You want to trade pullbacks, right? You want to trade pullbacks in price. So what you want to be careful of when you're looking at price like this is market stair-stepping down, right? You want to short the market. What you don't want to see, or what you do want to see when you're going to look for a rally in price or pullback, whatever word you want to use, to go short, is you want it to be lazy price, okay? Once you get strong momentum against you, that is a red flag, okay? You got to be careful when you see momentum going against you, because we want weak pullbacks. We don't want a whole lot of people bailing out of the trade or buyers stepping in, all right? So when you see this kind of a candlestick here, be on alert that we could be looking for a different trade direction. And at the very least, oftentimes when you get a couple of these in a row, you can actually trade totally counter trend for a short little move upwards. That's just a little bit of trading tips for you. So we don't get the trade here because of the confirmation, but on this momentum candle, we certainly, we do. These are 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. You can see that we have our previous high is right here. Well, you could consider this a high perhaps, right? Swing high. And then we can't put in a swing low, right? So we're just using pure price. If you're just looking at that as your global trend direction on this time frame, when this breaks up through here, we have now put in a higher low and on our way to putting in a higher high from this. And if you say, well, that's just kind of, it's weak, and well, you can go here, something a bit more obvious, and it does get breached up here. So we do have our new higher high, higher low trend direction using our global trend, okay? But let's just say you don't get it here. And I could talk about, when price rests up against resistance like this and ranges, the breakout is the higher probability trade. But I'm not going to get into that. Let's just trade with the trend here. Let's just take it off this big candle. Okay, let's say we waited for all confirmation levels. Number 3. Okay, so we're going here. This goes up 37, 38 pips, right, for a day trade. And if you used the standard 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, you'd be out of this trade with your profit, get on with your day. If you waited for the opposing signal, which is right in this area right here, the trade's not as great as you can see. But as a trader, you don't want to just trade stuff blindly, and I've always said that. You want to look at, you got your swing high, swing low, lower swing high. You could actually put your stop up in this area right here, right? So you can get a little bit extra on this trade and using price action. So I think what's great about trend mystery, number one, it tells you, okay, this is direction this is setting up in. You take the entry along with the trend direction, okay? The confirmation levels, which is showing you momentum in that trade is in your favor. It's all printed up here. Why would you not take the trade, right? It's in the direction of a trend. Manage your risk, not a problem. Go to look at this. One more trade is a Euro US dollar day trade. A daily chart trade. So huge swing trade, right? That's where the money's made, to be quite honest with you. It's my favorite way of trading, the daily charts. Usually I'll use daily chart setups, and sometimes I'll use the 4-hour chart depending on what kind of setup I'm looking at. But let's take a look at what we have here. We have obviously higher highs, higher lows going into this market. Stair-stepping pattern, right? Well, wait a second here. Not really. Because what has happened here, let me just move this chart over. It's got a big range going on in this market here. We don't get any really juice to the downside until we hit into here. We could actually consider this up move. And this, let's just take a look at this chart here in terms of what doesn't happen. What doesn't happen here is not only do we not get into a short trade here. Why? Because our confirmation level, 0, right? We don't have anything here. You would not take this short trade. And look, pulls up again, back against you. This long trade, would you take it? Probably not. Why? Because your confirmation levels here is your down move here on this trade here. Get a little bit of heat, and then the price falls 260 odd pips. We have our up move here. So we started putting in a series of higher highs, higher lows? Well, you think what's happened here is we trade right back into our range. We broke out, we pulled right back into our range. And this trade would be over in this area here. But what did I talk about earlier? We're looking for a trend, and I also pointed out a range. Well, we're trading right back into our range here, right? So these kind of trades, are difficult, especially if you look up in this area here where these wicks are, to get this breakout. Now, if you did take this trade, you get in here, you take a loss on this trade, whatever you're using for your stops. And hey, you know what? You're going to lose, period. Nothing's 100%. So let's just chalk this one up for a loss. It happens. It's going to happen. So not a big deal. We have our down move here, which we don't take. Now it's breached our low, right? Our last swing low, our higher swing low. It's broken it. So now we can start thinking the uptrend's in jeopardy. Let's start looking at a downtrend. And that's exactly what happens here. You see this trade here, in here, a bit of pullback, and price eventually drops down to 260 odd pips. So you would do what? You'd stay out of some chop here, take a little bit of a loss here, and take a big winner right here, depending if you could still be in this trade, actually. And if I was still in this trade, I don't know, I haven't calculated ATR. I probably would have scaled out by now. And I would certainly be watching this price action here. If I don't get this price starting to break down, if I get a big jump off of this move here, I would be bailing on that trade. But you probably would have already banked. And maybe perhaps with this momentum candle, you could keep that in mind and go, okay, well, wait a second. This is a pullback in price. We don't want to see any strength. We got some strength in our pullback here. So that could be a bit of a problem. So you know what? Again, nothing wrong with trend mystery. It's giving you your entries, right? Just follow the rules. It's that simple, right? A lot of traders have a problem with entry, and that's unfortunate because there are products out here like trend mystery that if you follow the rules and you trade in the direction of the trend and you don't get greedy and you risk appropriate amounts, there's no reason why you can't do well. The fact is, most people don't do well. It's because A, they don't follow the rules. They don't have their own trading plan. Their fear, their greed, everything. You know, they'll see a big move, take their profits, right? Take small profits. Price will be going back against them. They just sit back, hoping it's going to come forward, right? The price is going to go back in the direction. Instead, they take a full loss compared to their profits. They take the small profits, the bigger loss. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But anyways, click above, click below. It doesn't matter. Grab Trend Mystery. If it's still Monday, the 26th of November, the Black Friday deal is still on, where I think it's $96 or something, $97. Grab that. And hey, you know what? As long as I keep getting comments, right? I don't publish them all. Most of them are questions, and I just answer them via a video. I'll keep making these videos for you. All right. Best of luck. Have a great week.